And I'm also going live on YouTube. Is anyone out there? How are you all doing? Come on, join in the live fun, team. Hey, we got some people. Hello, people of Instagram. Welcome to the live stream. And I think we've got a few people even on YouTube as well. So hello. Just a little heads up. I'm streaming simultaneously on YouTube and on Instagram. So I've got some of you there and some of you up there. So if I start getting confused about where I'm looking, please don't get freaked out. So yeah, welcome to the stream. I only advertised this like earlier on, so I know it's probably short notice and I'm not expecting loads of people. But people on YouTube, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I can see some people coming in on Instagram though. Who we got on Instagram? Lots of people waving. Hello everyone. Cole Cantrell, hello. I can see that Frank just joined. How you doing, dude? Cheers for joining the course the other day. Cole Cantrell, only the cool people are here. And Lyle Watson, what is happening? So guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to give it like a minute or two for people to kind of catch on and join the stream. But in this little live stream, I'm going to do a Q&A where you can ask me anything you want at the end. You can ask me whatever you want. But before I do that, I'll do a little bit of rambling about the blueprint to go in beast mode on Etsy. Does that sound good? If that sounds good, give me like a poof, give me a fist pump, blah, in the chat. So yeah, I've written down some very rough notes. Just going to take like 10-15 minutes to chat over my Etsy shop blueprint to beast mode. It's something that I've been working on for a little bit, and I've got this idea to maybe kind of put out like some kind of online course, which would be really cool. Do you guys think that would be helpful to have some kind of course to help you with setting up an Etsy shop? What do you think? So I've had like a good few people message me. Yes, Frank, how you doing, man? Cheers for joining on the course the other day. So we can get you fired up for this next kind of like half an hour. So yeah, I've had quite a few people drop me messages saying they have ideas to open Etsy shops. Maybe they've been laid off from work, or they're just having a difficult time financially, as I think a lot of us are. But I just thought I'd just run over and just give you guys some tips to help you kind of get started, really, because I know from experience it's pretty goddamn overwhelming. So before we jump in, I'm not sure if you guys have seen from my emails or from other content I've been doing this week, but I've got a special promotion running on my Next Level Wooden Rings course, which is running up until Monday. This is available for all existing students, and for anyone who joins up until next Monday, you will get a free Etsy shop consultation with me, which lasts about an hour, and that's valid for however long you need, really. So if you join the course, you start making some rings, and then further down the line you'd like to learn how to sell them, then you can get a nice Etsy shop consultation with me. So yeah, I've put a link in my bio on Instagram and in the description of this live stream on YouTube. So check those out. So we've got 9 people on YouTube and we've got 9 people on Instagram. So which one is going to win? Where will we get the most eyeballs from? Now I hope you guys have all had a good day today. It's been an absolute scorcher. But I've been stuck in the workshop. I've been making a really nice pair of Damascus steel rings today. So I've made this one, which is it's Damascus steel with whiskey barrel oak, silver pinstripes, and the central inlay of cork from Portugal. And then the bride's ring is just Damascus steel with a blue opal inlay. And it's so tiny. It's like 4mm wide and a size 6. So I've had a really, really busy week. I'm happy to report that although Etsy sales were a bit scarce and slowed down at the start of the whole crisis, I can actually report that sales have somewhat come back online, and I've been receiving inquiries every single day. So I want to give you guys like a little glimmer of hope that there are customers out there. People are still shopping, especially for lovely handmade things. And in the way I see it is, if they can't get out to go into nature at the moment, then I'm going to give nature to them. I'll send nature right to their doorstep. So that's a little glimmer of hope. I hope, just to let you know, that people are still shopping and sales are still coming in. So wooden rings or alternative wedding rings are still, they're still selling. Sweet. Who have we got on YouTube then? Samuel Kershaw. How you doing, dude? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. I hope you stick around. We've got a few people as well on Instagram who just said that. Lyle Watson says, hello from South Africa. Oh, we're in South Africa. Amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, I've been rambling for a couple of minutes. I'm sure you're dying for me to get into the meat and the bones of what I wanted to talk about on this live stream. So, the Etsy shop blueprint to beast mode. It's just a silly thing I just thought of earlier on, but this is like an overview of how I run my Etsy shop, and is working because I'm still making sales and I'm still doing pretty well. So, here's the notes. Where do we even begin? I've broken it down into like seven. There's like 7 bullet points, but I'm kind of not sure which one comes first. I think that the most important thing before you even set up your shop is to understand your customers. Knowing your customers, I think that comes first before anything. So a lot of people call this identifying your customer avatar, but really all it is trying to figure out your ideal person to sell to. So for me, for example, I'm quite lucky because I've met lots and lots of my customers from in the past, and they all tend to be like a little bit like me for the most part. They're generally guys between 25 to 35 years old. They've been in a relationship for a while. Ideally, if they're from the UK, that makes selling and postage and everything really nice and easy. So age-wise, they're about the same as me. And geography-wise, it's ideal if they're kind of close. And then I sell weird, non-traditional wedding rings. So the guys who are buying from me, they're normally a little bit alternative as well. You know, they might like metal music. They might like going to gigs and shows, festivals. They might be into, like horror movies. They come from like an alternative culture in general. That's not all of them, but if I was to create like an ideal customer avatar for a male who buys stuff from me, that would be who they are. Roughly a bit like me. Like a metal dude who's 30 years old, has got a missus, and is looking to kind of get married in the next 6 months, and who lives close to me. But I have a range of customers, and I've sold to kind of lots of different types of people. I'm just saying that before you get started, you should know an ideal type of person who you're trying to sell to. And the reason is before you create any products, or you create any advertising or any social media or any sort of content, is if you know your customer, then you kind of know what sort of language you can speak to them in, or what sort of language you can use to communicate your messages. You have an idea of where they're hanging out online. So, they might be on certain Facebook groups, or they might follow certain YouTube channels, or they might have certain like interests in certain blogs or something. And then you can also kind of identify like their main, the problems that they need solving. Every product solves a problem. It's useful in some kind of way. So that might be something obvious, like obviously an umbrella. That stops rain from going on your head and stops you from getting wet. But then there are other things that are a bit more abstract, like, you know, if it's wall art, what problem does wall art solve? Well, you would put a piece of artwork on your wall because you want to make your living space more comfortable and you want to show your personality in your living space. Or if you're wearing a piece of jewelry, so if you're shopping for a nice wedding ring, for example, then the reason you might choose something with, you know, strange materials like Damascus steel or exotic woods is that you're looking for something that represents your personality, is a bit out there, a bit of a conversation piece, and something that's like not really mainstream. It represents your personality more. So it's all about knowing your customer and kind of knowing what problem that they need solved. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That's like the first thing before you even get going, is to identify who you're planning to sell shit to. So who have we got? We've got some more people joined the chat. Ronaldo Lalo on YouTube. Hello from the United States. Safe. And then we got Alina Cristina from Italy. And Frank F from Canada. You had to switch from Instagram to YouTube. Fair play. Welcome back, Frank. All right. So, start with your customer. Next thing, in the Etsy shop blueprint to Beastmode, is creating your product. So I've said before in YouTube videos in the past that a good handmade product will cover three things. So it'll be really well made and really good to look at. Solve some kind of problem, as I mentioned. It'll be repeatable, so you can source the raw materials for the product over and over again, and you can kind of remake the same product, the same quality over and over again. And that is priced fairly. And by fairly, I mean this priced fairly to you, the customer, obviously, and like the overall market in general. I've made a video before about pricing. That's on my YouTube channel. So definitely check that out because I don't want to dive too much into that here. But when it comes to making a handmade product, people shop for handmade stuff because it's got like... it's associated with being really high quality and different. So whatever you're making, whether that's rings or whether you're wood turning, woodworking, or even if you're doing crochet blankets, make sure that it's like a really, really good quality. Stuff that you can't really find in the shop. And another little bonus tip is if you want your product to do really well, you can add an element of customization or personalization. So in the example of rings, people can obviously choose like the actual design and the materials that they include in the ring, but they can also add engravings and inscriptions, which really make it like a lot more personalized, customizable. So I think it's really good to have like an element of customization that you can add in as well, because then you can generate a little bit more money. I know I'm going quite fast here, so I hope this is all making sense. This is completely unscripted as well. I'm just going off the cuff, so I hope I'm not rambling too much. So when it comes to making your products and actually putting them in your shop, you've obviously got like a nice product, you've priced it up well, you can repeat the same product over and over again with the same quality to like the same pricing structure. And you're obviously making a profit as well. That's really important. Watch the video about pricing on my channel. When it comes to actually putting them onto your shop, then it's good to create like a range of products, like a product line or a product range. So for a product range, ideally, you'd have between 5 to like 12 products in the product range. And the product range, basically, they have to all be cohesive, okay? You can't just be selling like wellies, Wellington boots, and hammers. They just don't go together. You know what I mean? Like if you were in a shop, if you went into a brick and mortar shop, you would want those items to kind of belong on the same shelf or in the same general section together. So when you create your product line, 5 to 12 products, you want like 3 of them to be sort of low end, not cheap, because I don't believe in selling handmade stuff for cheap, but they should be like low end, not too expensive, kind of affordable, should we say. Then you've got like another third, like 3 to 4 of them, like in the middle kind of pricing range, you know, kind of medium quality. They don't have all the bells and whistles, but they're one step up from like the cheaper stuff. And then you want like 2 to 3 products at the higher end of the range that are like really expensive, all the bells and whistles, you know, like the top range of your skill. So the reason for doing this is when you have like these 2 or 3 products that are like really, really high end, and you know, you probably will never really sell any of them. Like if you do, then awesome. But when you have like a couple of products that are in the higher end, it makes like the mid-range products seem more attractive to buyers. So it's a little bit like psychology trickery, but that's what I'd recommend is the product line. 3 cheaper ones, 3 medium ones, and then like 2 high-end ones. And you'll find you'll sell more of the medium range stuff. So you've got an idea of who your customer is. You've got an idea of the products that you want to make for the customer. So next, you need to move on and actually build an Etsy shop. Like, what do you actually need to do? What's like the bare minimum amount you need to actually build the Etsy shop itself on the actual Etsy platform? So for one, you need like a shop name, a brand name. That's entirely up to you. Ideally, if you can have your brand name say what you do. I messed up at the start because I call myself Zebrano Woodcraft, and then I just end up making rings. So really, I should have put the name Rings in my business name. It probably would have helped massively with my SEO. But oh well, we're here now. We're 7 years into the journey, so whatever. So yeah, just think of a cool name. It doesn't have to be absolutely groundbreaking, and you can always change this if you want to and rebrand. So if you make a name, you're not stuck with it. When you have like a name for your business, then ideally you want to get like in some circles they call it an elevator pitch. So this is like, can you just explain what your business does in like a really short sentence? Like if you got into an elevator on the ground floor, could you explain to me what your business does by the time we get like the 3rd or the 5th floor? So for example, Zebrano Woodcraft, and I make alternative rings with exotic materials like woods and Damascus steel. Something like that. Something simple, nice, easy. You can just put it in a sentence. So you need your name, your elevator pitch, and then pretty much you need a logo, which will kind of go on all of your branding bits. So that will go in like the banner above your Etsy shop. It will go in like your shop, like profile picture. The branding can go onto your logo, can go onto your packaging and stuff. So making logos isn't everyone's forte. It certainly isn't mine. I'm not a graphic designer by any means, but a quick and easy way you can do this, like without having to pay anyone or kind of do anything fancy or pick up any confusing software, just go to canva.com. You can go over to Canva and they've got like a preset templates for loads of logos, loads of nice text. So just go over there, create a logo, save it as a PNG, which is a file with like transparency in the background. So then you can add that logo to all of your different bits, like your shop banner and your packaging and stuff. So brand, elevator pitch, and logo. Where we at then? And then it comes to setting up your actual shop. So like on the actual Etsy platform, there are various bits of your shop to fill out. My main piece of advice is fill out as much information as you possibly can on the actual platform. So fill in your about page, your bio, fill out your shop announcement. And then when it comes to making your listings, fill out as much as you can the listings. They have like these attributes that you can put into each one of the listings, like is it blue, what type of stone is it, what material is it made of. Fill out everything. Just fill out everything as much as you can on Etsy, because it helps you with like your search engine optimization and really helps your customers as well to identify if it's the right product for them. Then when you set up your shop in general, it's time to make your listings. So the main thing really with the listings is your photos. You want your photography to be looking crisp and nice. That's like the thing that draws people's eye in the search. So my main tips for photography, I mean, I'm not a professional photographer, but I've managed to sell hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of rings, so I guess my advice is worth a little bit. But my main tip with photography, you want the product photos to have natural light. So if you can set up near a window, like where that natural light is coming through, like white light. So look, ideally white natural light. If you can't get white natural light, then you can buy like light boxes with white lights in them. And they are really, really useful, especially because you can set up scenes and get the same results over and over again. So white lights, make sure that the product is in focus. You'd be surprised at the amount of Etsy listings I look over and the photos are blurry and you can't see anything. And then also make sure that you use a tripod. I know it seems super easy, but like a lot of people will take the photos with like their phone or with a DSLR or whatever, a camera, just by hand. And whenever even pressing the button to take the photo makes a little bit of shake and makes it blurry. So use a tripod, white lights, and when it comes to actually making the actual listing on Etsy, use all 10 of your product photo slots. Use them all. So by this point, you've identified your customer, you've made up your brand, you know your products, you've set up some listings, taken some photos, and then when that entire thing is built, it's time to get some customers, which for me is the fun bit. So I actually use like a four-pronged attack when it comes to getting customers, and I do this through SEO or search engine optimization, which is where you use like the right phrases and right words in your listings to attract customers who are searching for your products. So SEO, I also use content a lot, so I will make a lot of YouTube videos and blogs, which helps to draw people into like my ecosystem. Social media, so that's like your Instagram, your Facebook, Pinterest. They all help to kind of bring people in, like I said, into this like environment, this infrastructure, or whatever you want to call it, your sphere of influence, should we call it. And then the fourth one would be advertising. So that would be advertising on Facebook or Instagram or niche websites, whatever. So those are my 4 ways to get customers to my shop in the first place. When they arrive at the shop, hopefully I've done a good job of taking nice photos and writing up decent descriptions and showing them a nice range of products that they are attracted to. Hopefully then they buy, and then the last step really in this Who Blueprint to Beast mode is to retain the customers. So ideally, you can't do this from Etsy automatically, which is a frustration, but it would be cool if they built this in. However, my advice would be to retain the customers by adding them to an email list. And to do this, you would just need to message them after the sale, check in, say like how was the product when it arrived? Did you like the packaging? Do you like the product? Is everything okay with it? And then if they say yes, which hopefully they will, then you can say, hey, I want to add you to this email list so I can send you special offers in the future. And that's it. That's my really brief overview of how I operate my business and my Etsy shop, Blueprint to Beast Mode. So I would really love to make that into like a little course or some kind of resource. I think it could really be helpful to a lot of people. And then I can go really in depth on each one of those subjects as well, because there's like a lot to cover in 25 minutes. So thank you very much for listening, guys. I know that was a bit of a long rant. I hope that you got some value from it. And I'd like to move on now and do like a Q&A or questions and answers where you can ask me anything that you want. So perhaps you have questions about where to attract customers from, what type of content should you make for your social media, ideas for products that are selling at the moment, just general advice on kind of mindset or running a crafty business. Ask me whatever you want. You can put it in the chat on the YouTube, or you can put it on the chat here on Instagram. So fire away, guys. I'll answer whatever you want within reason, of course. While I'm waiting for those questions to come in, just a quick reminder that the Next Level Wooden Rings course has a special offer on up until the 27th of April, which is my birthday, and also next Monday. So if you would like to get involved and find out more information about the course, then there's a link in the description on YouTube or in my bio on Instagram where you can go and you can get like a free guide to making bentwood rings, and then I will send you free stuff over the next week with information about the course. I would love to have you. Right, quick sip of coffee, and then we're going to answer some questions because there's some coming in. Okay. I do Instagram first because they're flying in on Instagram. Right, where have we gone? Wooden Edge Designs. I'm listening to you in my workshop. Woo! Good one, man. I hope you're making something cool. Dan Janowski. How thick do you leave your rings? For like thickness wise, on a wooden ring, normally about between 2 to 2.5 mil. A. Ainson, have you tried antler in your inlay? Yes, I have made antler rings in the past. I used to do it years ago, but I stopped making antler rings because it smells absolutely vulgar. I hate working with the stuff, and also it's like quite dangerous. The dust is not healthy. Even inhaling a small amount of it can be very detrimental to your health. So I don't recommend you use it, but if you want to, then that's entirely up to you. But I don't have a lot of advice I can give you about using antler. Wooden Edge Designs. What was your first ring? Oh man, I think the first ever ring I tried to make was just like a really shit attempt at making a bentwood ring with some kind of wood that I got from a veneer offcuts pack online. I think, I can't remember the first one, but they were the first probably 20 or 30 were absolutely shocking. Like, I get people messaging me saying, oh, I've watched a few videos on YouTube. This is the ring I made. Is it any good? What do you think? And I'm like, that's like one of your first rings that you made. God damn, my first entire like 20 or 30 rings, probably even 50 rings were so bad. They were so bad. So, yeah, my first rings, nothing to write home about, but eventually I got good. Wooden Edge Designs. Right now I'm sanding the handle on a drop point fixed blade, but I have some rings to make today for some customers too. Alright, well be careful when you're sanding the blade, bro. What tools do you use on your lathe? By Lyle Watson. I'm coming to you guys on YouTube in just a second. What tools do you use on your lathe? If it's the wood lathe, honestly, I don't really use a lot of like tools for making wooden rings on the wood lathe. The guys who are in my course have probably seen this, where I use files for carving inlay channels, and sandpaper on a wooden lathe. On a metal lathe, you know, you'll use like a left to right cutting bit or a right to left cutting bit, whatever it is. Kind of a parting off tool and a boring tool. And I think that's about it, really. Like 3 or 4 tools, and mainly for like shaping the ring. And then I'll use like HSS drill bits for drilling holes in Damascus steel. That's about it, really. I don't really use a lot of mad tools. Right, let's go down to YouTube. What was the reason why you picked Etsy over other selling platforms? From JP Woodwork. The reason I chose Etsy is because I'm not very technical when it comes to like building websites, and honestly, I just wanted to get off the ground quickly and just kind of dip my toes in, really. So I chose Etsy because it was really easy to start, and you know, it's a good place if you want to learn like the basics of e-commerce. I think now, well, probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I got to a point where I needed to build my own website. And to be honest, I've just been so goddamn busy the whole time, I haven't got around to it. So I'm actually looking at the moment. Hopefully I'll get a few spare days during this whole lockdown period. I'm going to build a Shopify website, an e-commerce Shopify website, and I would love to document that process and kind of show you guys what I did to make a nice website of my own. So if you think that would be helpful, I'd love to see you guys give me like a fist pump or a thumbs up or something and say, yes, show us how to make a Shopify. It'd be sick. Samuel Kershaw, how can I draw more people to my social media page? Oh, what a wicked question. That's such a good question, Sam. Post good content is my first advice. I also did a YouTube video a while back about how to get more followers on Instagram. So it's definitely worth a watch. It's not quite a long one like this where I was kind of free flowing. Yeah, post mainly videos, and if any of the platforms like YouTube or Instagram or Facebook bring out any new tools or any new things that you can do, like going live or, you know, making like those carousel posts on Instagram. Sorry, I was gonna let my hair down for a second because I'm worth it. Yeah, use any new features on the social media platforms. And just kind of post things that you think people would like, and just be goddamn consistent. I think when I first started my Instagram, it took me months and months and months and months to get to my first 1,000 followers. And now, like, I've been posting on Instagram nearly every day for like 5-6 years, and I'm still not even at 25,000 followers. So just be consistent with it and just sort of try and post things that either help people or show off what you do in a good way. I hope that helps. Go and check out that video I made as well, because there's some really good stuff in there. Alina Christina, what about wood pendants? Yes, wood pendants. You can make them and you can sell them. Tilly, all right, Tilly. Tilly's just asked, are you doing another quiz this weekend? And yes, I am, Tilly. Thank you so much for your donation last weekend. This weekend, guys, on Saturday night, I am doing a live virtual quiz again. And this is actually my birthday weekend, so I'm going to try and make it a lot more raucous. And we're going to have a good party this weekend. So yeah, please join me. It's on my YouTube channel. I'd love it if you get involved. Right. Dusty Sanders on Instagram. Do you have a website separate to your Etsy shop? Yes, I've got zebranowoodcraft.com, which is a WordPress website. It's not ideal at the moment. I mean, it's a nice looking website, explains what I did do, but it's not ideal. I want to make something separate and more robust. Right, Wooden Edge Designs. What do you do for promotion? I'll be honest, I don't really do a lot of actual paid advertising. In fact, I haven't paid for any advertising since like the end of January. My main form of promotion is content. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, blogging. Not much blogging, but I'm trying to get back into it. So yeah, it's mainly content. That's my main way of doing promotion. Damn Janoski, do you think that a wooden ring can be durable enough? Yes, absolutely it can, because I've got customers who've had their rings for like 5+ years, and I've also had rings that I've made years and years ago absolutely fine. You just have to look after them, show them a bit of love. Right, where are we? Maru Stafford, I'm not very technologically illiterate. I can't even say technology, Maru, so don't worry about it. I'm not very technologically literate. I have a fear and I am going to get something wrong with the files. I'm not sure how to save, upload pictures for logos and things like that. Maru, I wouldn't worry about it. It's really easy to kind of figure out and Google that stuff at the moment. Pretty much JPEGs. If you're going to upload any files to Etsy, use JPEGs. Or if you're looking to kind of overlay your logo over like a picture of a product or something, then save your logo as a PNG file. PNG has transparency in the background, so that when you drag that over the top of another picture, you can see like the other picture underneath, if that makes sense. Hope that helps. We can always do, you know, some kind of little tutorial or something about that if that's something a lot of people are interested in. What's the average length of veneer used for a single ring by Ronald Lalo? That's a difficult one. I normally like to start with veneer strips that are like 30 centimeters long, but sometimes they're like 15 centimeters long, sometimes even less. If it's a small ring and you're only doing one wrap on the inside, then you know you only need a little bit of wood, which is cool. We got Lyle Watson says thank you. Tilly, yeah. Zuhairo, any tips for increasing your engagement on social media as a craftsman? Amazing question. Yes, use video. I found that filming like a video of me making something and then kind of cutting it so it lasts like a minute. So if you show like a process from start to finish, you don't have to show it in its entirety, just like the main cool bits. So making these like how it's made style videos, posting them on Instagram with like 30 hashtags that are kind of relevant to your niche, and then you post those. Hopefully your followers will like them. And then what I do sometimes is I'll go to, there are like these pages that kind of like repost other people's content. Normally they're like selling fucking woodworking t-shirts or something. Or, you know, they're selling their own product, but normally they've got like up to like 1 million, 2 million plus followers. So sometimes I'll like message or direct message those pages and say like, hey, I made this video, your followers will love it. Will you repost it for me and give me credit? And it works really, really well. So yeah, give that a go, man. I think I've mentioned that in a YouTube video I did about how to get more followers on Instagram. So go and watch that too. Tilly says she can't wait till the quiz. You goddamn right, Tilly. I'll see you there. Right, let's move back down to YouTube. This is getting intense. There's so many questions. Makers International, have you re-listened to your Spotlight episode on the podcast 340? Do you know what? I actually haven't listened to that for a long time. I'm afraid I sounded like a dickhead. But Makers International podcast, I was on their podcast last year, episode number 340, and it was a really good laugh. It was like, the guys made me feel really at home, perhaps a little bit too at home, and I got a little bit loose on that one. It's good fun though. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're doing good, Jamie. Right, what else we got? What really moved you to start your business, by Sam Kershaw, and how did you start your business? I just put out a video like last week about this on YouTube, but I was always in jobs that never really satisfied me, and I desperately kind of wanted to find something that I could do to earn a bit of extra money. Luckily, a good friend of mine, Chris, introduced me to woodworking. We started getting into making like these rustic furniture and stuff, like pallet wood furniture. We listed a few items on Etsy and kept on getting requests for people like all over the world. Like, can you make us a coffee table and send it to America? And I'd be like, no, I cannot. It's too far and the process is too much. So I started looking at small things I could make that would allow me to make something small and then post it to anywhere in the world. And I stumbled across wooden jewelry, fell in love with wooden rings. There's a shop called Origin Rings, and I just loved what they were making and decided I'd give it a go, and then kind of fell into it from there, really. The full story is actually on a video I released like last week, so yeah, definitely go and check that out. And I'll be sending out some stuff in the email list this week as well. So if you aren't already, join my email list, because you're going to get a load of free stuff this week and special offers on the Next Level Wooden Rings course. Frank F said Shopify website build would be fantastic. Yeah, that's definitely on my to-do list, man. Maru Stafford, what material would you love to work with you haven't had the opportunity to yet? I'm really excited, actually, Maru, because I placed an order with ringsupplies.com like about 2 weeks ago, and JD over there said that he's sending me like a load of stuff, so I can't wait to give that a go. I've ordered like a material called True Stone, which looks amazing. I've got a few different opal color types. And I just bought some wood veneers as well from a vendor on eBay. And they sent me a piece of wood called Golden Phoebe Bill. And so when I did a bit of research about this Golden Phoebe stuff, it turns out it's one of the most rarest and expensive woods in the world. So I can't wait to give that a go because it looks so sexy. Right, who else we got up here? Where's Glassview this weekend? That'll be locked on birthday. Thank you, Tilly. Zuhairo, are you on Pinterest? Yes, but I can't get my head around Pinterest. I don't understand it. I don't really use the platform very much, but I would love to learn. Have you tried making solid wood rings by Zuhairo? Yes, that's actually one of the tutorials I've got planned for Next Level Wooden Rings. But that'll be in a few weeks' time. So yeah, I've made plenty of rings with solid wood. Bentwood rings are a lot more durable, much stronger, much easier to make, require less tooling, they're a lot less dusty, and they look cooler. So I'm not really into solid wood rings, but I can make them. Lyle Watson, yourself and Patrick Adair are my absolute favourite inspirations. Well, thank you very much. Patrick is a good dude and he knows his stuff, so to be put in the same kind of boat as him is a real honour. Thank you very much, and big up to Patrick. If I ever meet that guy in person, I owe him a beer. Tell him from me. Tell him Dan from Zebrano Woodcraft is doing a pub quiz this weekend and he's gonna have a virtual beer for you because he loves you. Right, who else we got down here? Marcus Kovac says big love, Jimmy. Jimmy's my nickname to all my friends. Big love to you, Marcus. I love you, bro. It was a fantastic chat we had on a Saturday night and a very powerful hangover I had in the morning. Right, who else we got? Sam, thanks so much, dude. Your advice is really helping me on how to get started. I am only 16 and absolutely love making things with my hands. I can't wait to start selling some stuff. Dude, amazing. I wish that I'd started up when I was 16, because like I only started this when I was like in my late 20s, like 26, 27. And man, if I'd started when I was 16, imagine where I'd be now. God damn. I'd be like, you know, it's such a better position. I'd have so many more followers. I'd know what I'm doing. I wouldn't feel like I'm stumbling around in the dark anymore. I would actually know what I'm doing. So I wish I'd started. So fair play to you, Sam, for starting so early. Zuhairo, what is your favorite wood supplier? For veneers, my favorite suppliers are a shop in the UK called the Wood Veneer Hub. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. They're called the woodveneerhub.co.uk. And there's a couple of others as well that I use, whose names I can't remember off the top of my head. And there's a few vendors on eBay as well I'm following at the moment who are absolutely awesome. But I've heard that Thornhill Woodworks, I heard that he sells some good veneers, so maybe hit him up as well. He's on Instagram. Hope that helps. It depends where you are, really. Like if you're in the US, then there are lots of way more suppliers of like really nice wood veneers out there. So it's just worth just hitting a Google search, man. Just search for like wood veneers USA, and you'll find like so many websites. There's only a few in the UK that do like real specialty stuff. So, you know, and you can always search for like marquetry supplies on Amazon or eBay. What else? Cheers for the questions, by the way, guys. You've really kept me on my toes. Yeah, this is amazing. Like, I hope to do this every Wednesday. Like, I'd like to do this sort of like Wednesday evenings, just kind of kick back, have a coffee, do a little live stream on YouTube and Instagram. So I hope it's like actually giving you guys some kind of value. Bill Hooton. Was Etsy even a thing when you were 16? I don't think it was. No, I think it's quite new, isn't it, Etsy? So, you know, it was. I probably wouldn't have even been possible for me to get started when I was 16. But, you know, I wish I did, though. I wish I'd found, like, crafting things in my hands when I was that young, because I just love it so much. It brings me so much, like, fulfillment to see, like, raw materials being turned into something cool. And I wish that I'd found that earlier on. But oh well, whatever. Maru Stafford, does YouTube benefit you as a side hustle for cash, or does it benefit you more for the traffic to your business? And check out Surrey Timbers. Oh yeah, I'll check out Surrey Timbers, definitely, especially if they sell nice veneers and nice exotic woods. Does YouTube benefit my business? Fuck yeah, it does. Oh my god, yeah. Sorry for swearing, but I can't emphasize enough how much like YouTube has been a game changer for my business. From like a purely promotional point of view, like people who are looking to buy wedding rings, they see my YouTube videos. Some of them might watch me make something cool. And quite often I get contacted by people who say like, I've watched a YouTube video, I'd love you to make me a wedding ring, or I've got this idea for a custom design. So there's that element where it actually builds trust and entertains and draws in customers who are looking for rings. And then from like a monetary standpoint, I've been able to build up a good, it's not a big audience. I'm no Patrick Adair. I've got like 16,000 people subscribed on YouTube, which is, you know, to me, that's amazing. And I'm so thankful to every one of you. But I've been able to attract an audience, and then I've made my online course, Next Level Wooden Rings. And that has actually been a significant revenue stream for me in the last 6 months since it's launched as well. So it's enabled me to like springboard onto other things. So YouTube has been absolutely amazing for my business, both from selling rings and from then moving on to other things. Unfortunately, this year, a few like speaking engagements and stuff got cancelled. So I was really looking forward to going and doing demonstrations at Maker Central. And there's a few woodworking shows that I was going to go to as well through the year, like the Chester Products Woodworking Weekend and Yandle's Woodworking Show. So I'm gutted, but it opens up opportunities like that as well. So, you know, if you ever get a chance, then get into making YouTube videos. It's a long game thing. There's a lot of effort for very little reward for a long, long time. But, you know, I think that with anything, if you keep at it, then, you know, you'll get some benefit from it eventually. I know I certainly did, and I really love it. And also, it gives me a lot of fun interacting with you cool dudes. I've met so many sick people through doing it as well. So, yeah, I love it. Where are we? Have you made a plan for making coin rings by Ronald Lallo? No, I've never made any coin rings. I think I'll probably give it a go, though, if I get a bit of free time in quarantine. I think it could be fun. All right, who have we got on Instagram? Black Yagut. I am from Iran. God damn, we got people from all over. South Africa, America, Iran. Welcome in, dude. Wooden Edge Designs. Do you ever use glow powder in inlays? Glow is one of my favourite things to add to rings. Yeah, I've added glow powder to things before. I think I made like a glow ring video years and years ago on YouTube. I haven't done much with it recently, but maybe I should. Impetus rings. Have you used silver, gold, or steel in your rings? Yes. I've got a registered hallmark here in the UK. So, hey, my DIY rings. Yeah, I've got a registered hallmark in the UK. So, you know, I'm an actual goldsmith, like an official goldsmith. So yes, I do use gold and silver and precious metals a lot, actually. I just finished making a beautiful set of 18 karat gold and wood rings for a couple of customers a few weeks ago. I posted them on Instagram, so check them out. And also in the Next Level Wooden Rings course, there are tutorials about using precious metals as well and incorporating them into wooden rings. So yes, definitely love using precious metals. My DIY rings. How do you get on the explore page? God damn, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? I'm going to need some coffee for this one because I'm about to get deep. All right. The explore page on Instagram. I'm not sure if I've really managed to hit onto it a lot of times, but I think I've definitely done a few things where like the post has, you know, gained like a shit ton of views, like ridiculous, like 75,000 people reach or something. Or I think I had one a few weeks ago which was 100,000 reach. Just insane. That's so many people. This is how I did it, right? So Instagram, the thing that they like, the Instagram algorithm will favor posts that keep the viewer engaged for like a long time. So most people will see a photo on Instagram, they like it, and scroll past. And the next best thing up from just single photo is like a carousel post, which is like a series of like 10 photos. So if you can use 10 photos in the carousel, use all 10 because it keeps people on that post for longer. But I think I mentioned earlier on the stream, what I like to do is I like to like make a video of me making something from start to finish, skip out some of the steps along the way, just use like the bare minimum steps. But I'll make that like a 1 minute video. So then the people who are watching it, like a large portion of those people are watching that for like maybe 10, 20, 30 seconds, so up to a minute. So then Instagram, the signals to Instagram that, you know, people are interested in this post. And then when you've got the interesting content, I use all 30 of the hashtags, and I've got like quite a good hashtagging strategy, which I've never really told you guys much about. But here it is, the hashtagging strategy that I use, okay? So when you're in making your post and you start typing out like a hashtag, you say like a hashtag woodworking or hashtag wood turning or something, like there'll be like auto suggestions that come up, and I like to scroll down and basically like the hashtags with under like 100,000 posts to them. Like if you see a hashtag that has like 1 million posts, you'll never rank for that because there are such big pages who get like a lot more likes and engagement every time they post, that they are the ones who get to the top 9 of that hashtag. So I like to choose hashtags with under 100,000 posts because I know that the top 9 posts in that hashtag, they've probably averaged like, I don't know, like 100, 200, 300, 400 likes. So if I make like a 1 minute video and I post it out with 30 hashtags with like under 100,000 posts in each one of those hashtags, and then that video gets a lot of traction amongst my followers, then I'll easily get like 500 or 600 likes on that one post, which then Instagram sees like, oh, this post is ranking for like 5 or 6 hashtags. and then all of a sudden you start getting hits on this explore page, or you see that people send it to each other, or you see that like people just like your big pages, like big promotional pages, will start sharing it, and that's when that post will go absolutely beast mode. Like I think that I picked up 500 followers from one post earlier last month. So yeah, that's my super secret hashtagging strategy. That was long. I hope that helped. I would love to put that in some kind of resource. Humbly Kind Grain just joined your course. Oh, amazing, man. Thank you so much. Glad to have you. Join the Next Level Wooden Rings Facebook group, and we can chat in there. And I'd love to kind of stay in touch with you and give you any advice that you need. And also, you get a free Etsy shop critique. Woo! Blood safe. Thank you so much, Humbly Kind Grain. Absolute legend. All right. Who else have we got? Do you plan on running any in-person courses or just the online ones? From Bill Houghton. Oh man, I'm really gutted. This Saturday I did actually have a workshop planned. I was meant to have like a couple of guys coming over to make silver rings in my workshop, but obviously due to the lockdown and the quarantine I had to cancel it, so I was absolutely gutted. But yeah, in-person classes, definitely going to start those back up when the lockdown is over. And I've done quite a few in the past as well. Like my friend Yaz came over and made her and my good friend Dougie's wedding rings last year. Major good fun. I loved it. Maru, thanks for your knowledge. I'd love to meet you for a drink. Dude, yeah, man. Maker Central. If Maker Central happens in August and you come up to me, say hello, and let's have a few beers. Because last year, I partied really hard. But I was like the most unprofessional person at that conference last year. But I made some amazing friends. So yeah, if you see me at Maker Central, come and have some beers. Frank F. The best time to do something was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Words of wisdom, Frank. Yeah, absolutely. Alina Christina, best time indeed, Frank. Yeah, Frank, you've really resonated with a few people there. All right, my DIY rings says thanks for the answer, and Tillum says thanks for the advice on the hashtags. So yeah, I'm glad that helped, guys. I know it's been a long one. We've gone for nearly an hour. So I think I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to go and get some food, maybe do a cheeky workout. So thank you so much for joining me this evening, guys. I'm going to do this again next Wednesday. So keep an eye on the page. Also on Saturday on YouTube, I've got my birthday pub quiz that I'm running live. So check that out. That'll be sick. And for those of you who are interested in learning how to make wooden rings, join my email list. Next Level Wooden Rings, my online course, has got a special offer on until next Monday, which is my birthday, where you can get a free Etsy shop consultation when you join the course. Thank you so much, guys. I love you all. Thanks for your questions. It's been absolutely amazing. See you next Wednesday, if not before, because you'll all be coming to my pub quiz on Saturday to celebrate my birthday with me. Thank you very much. Love you. Take it easy. And happy making. Safe. All right. Say goodbye on Instagram. And see you guys later on YouTube. Big love. Stay safe. Thanks so much for all of your questions. See you next Wednesday.